Well, hello. It is another day. It is now the 23rd, Saturday. So let me kind of start over again because I wanted to talk about those records that I had sitting here. And yesterday I got busy with some other stuff, so I haven't played much more than what I tried to present to you yesterday. A couple things about that before I talk. Thank you for your support. Thank you for speaking up. To the one person who told me that my complaint about the copyright had nothing to do with Trump, you're right. But Trump's general tone of what he's about and the effect that it's having on everything is undeniably negative. And so that part sticks. Fuck him. Okay? Just fuck Trump and all those greedy motherfuckers. All those greedy motherfuckers. So this is what I wanted to tell you. I'm going to go back and try and recap a couple things. So what I wanted to tell you is about this album, The Jewel in the Lotus by Bennie Maupin. I get asked constantly, I mean seriously, every other day, what's your favorite? Top 10, top 25, desert island favorites. People really want to know. I always give the same answer. I'm not good at that. I don't even enjoy it. I used to do it, and now my brain goes to mush. So the best answer that I can give you is that this album probably comes out at the top. This very likely is my number one album. There may be another one, but this album is so incredibly wonderful and what I personally have been looking for and need. Whenever I play this record, I get into a boat and float down the river, or everything just calms down. This is just an amazing piece of work. That's what I wanted to... The way that it starts. Thank you for the feedback. A couple of folks mentioned that ECM are real hard when it comes to their copyright. And indeed, the very first notes that I played are unmistakable. It's like when that starts, it's like nothing else starts like that. It's so incredible. So that makes sense. It's too bad, but everything else I have to say about the copyright shit still stands. It's a shame. And thank you, folks, for speaking up. It's a shame that we want to share music and Needle Drop Secca Funk. Wow, still with me, brother. And my family, all of y'all. I see y'all talking to me. Man, that feels good. But what a shame. And it does go back to greed, that people are so worried about getting their, money. I don't care about it. I don't monetize. If you go back and see some of my older videos, I have older videos where I haven't played a note. But because the video has gone over a certain number, YouTube's decided to monetize it and make money off my ass. I'm not making any money off of that. That's wrong, okay? Just the basic structure of materialism is wrong, okay? And there's no defense of it now. The world is about to fucking fall apart because people are still too worried about the money. And I'm going to say it again. If there was anybody that was halfway smart in office, they'd be saying, okay guys, we're about to fuck this up. We need to just forget about profit and just make sure that everything that is needed is there. So tell me this before I go on, because I am ranting, and I don't give a shit who doesn't like it. I don't. So, with this foolish greed going on, and the virus that has happened, and all the people who have had to stop working, and now they're talking about the ending of the moratoriums on mortgages and rent. Well, everything has not bounced back to regular. And my thought is this: how insane is it that you're going to stay stuck on, well, we got to have that money? What are you going to do? Evict half the country? Where are they going to go? How insane is it now? You see them? How insane. Forget about the money and let's just live. The 1/10 of 1% have it's. I could just go on. Okay, so this is preliminary because I have to come back to it. Michael P. Dawson, an active member of the vinyl community. Every now and then I watch his videos. It's been a while, Michael, and I still haven't framed that artwork that you sent me. The virus fucked all that up. As far as I'm concerned, I'm staying home. But I'll get that framed eventually. But Michael P. Dawson sent me his latest release, the Hipcrime Vocab. Michael P. Dawson is a multi-instrumentalist. I actually have not paid attention to what part of the country Michael lives in, but this is his latest release. I have 2 of his vinyl releases that he sent to me. Michael, my first impression is that this is weird. This is really different from your other stuff. And it's like a whole nother part of your personality, it seems like. It really does strike me as slightly unsettling. It's like, what the hell is going on here? And I think the one that really got me is, this must be on purpose. The track, Shall Man Ease Her? That was like really starting to get to me. It's like, what the hell is going on here? Now, what I'm saying is actually complimentary because it's that strong of what you're doing. It's like, what is Michael up to? Okay? This is to me, sounds like a whole different bag from your other albums. Very interesting, Michael. I'm going to have to probably tune in and find out what you are up to on this. That artwork also is indicative of this music. This is jarring. It's not light listening. The one thing that came to mind was, is this Michael P. Dawson's Jazz from Hell, like Frank Zappa? Wow, Michael, this is something. So, Michael P. Dawson, that's the latest thing that I can tell you about. And if what I've said intrigues you, I'll leave a link for him. Get it, okay? Okay. So, I have personal news to share. I'll wait till the end, okay? But it ties in with what I didn't play yesterday. But what I did play is John Foxx's Metamatic. This album is ice, and yet I get soul out of it. Do any of you all understand that? This is icy cold, this music, but it has soul. I feel it. Particularly, a couple songs on here. He's a Liquid and Underpass. Underpass. Now, of course, people have satired that title, Underpants, but Underpass, it's like it's about nothing almost. It is about something, but there's an angst to the way when he gets to the chorus of Underpass, I feel it. Like people talk about feeling Aretha Franklin. I feel it in the same way. I really do. And so that's something I'm really been very, very dedicated to trying to share, this idea that soul has a color or that it only comes in one form. That's fucking bullshit. John Foxx Metamatic. Killer album. Something I meant to say about Animal as leaders the other day that slipped, because so many things I like to pass on. Just thoughts. This is about race. Animals as leaders. As you know, the main guy in the band is black, from Africa, Tosin Abasi. And the other cat is Hispanic, the other guitarist. Recently, well, I don't know when it was, but I stayed out of the conversation, but I caught in one of my music groups a conversation about guitar players, and someone posited, who's the next great guitar hero? And someone brought up the usual, I can't even remember who the usual are now besides Eddie Van Halen, who it would be. But then someone brought up Tosin Abasi. And one of the responses was, he's too black. But what really upset me was the responses. Yeah. What? Do you feel me? Now in 2020, we're still dealing with this mental madness about melanin? Tosin Abasi is one of the baddest, most innovative guitar players playing right now. He definitely is a guitar hero. He's too black? What? That's madness. One more thing. Not one more, but here's another thing. What's this bullshit about the sitting President Trump refusing to unveil Obama's portrait? How can that be excused? Of course he's being petty, but it's racist too. It's inexcusable. Inexcusable. Talk to me, people. How can you give that bitch a pass on that? How? So, yesterday, we lose another great artist. In Europe and other parts of the world, this man is well known. Here in America, I bet you some of y'all don't even know who I'm about to talk about. Mory Kante, Akwaba Beach. This has he had a big hit with the first song, Yeke Yeke. It did get exposure in America. I heard about it. I actually saw the video once on TV. This is joyous music. This is very commercial. This is made for crossover. But the music is so incredibly fantastic. Apparently he has quite a history, and I saw yesterday in one of the groups that I belong to on Facebook, a collector from Europe, I think he's from Poland, who started showing these African records that Mory Kante was part on that I've never seen before, and I was just like, wow. So he passed away. Apparently he had been sick for a long time, and it wasn't the virus, but rest in peace, Mory Kante. Yesterday would have been Sun Ra's birthday, I understand. Now, I didn't play any Sun Ra yesterday, but I pulled these to share online because Sun Ra is important, very important. I never got to see him live. I missed a really wonderful opportunity when he did a residency in Kansas City, and somehow I didn't hear about it. But I don't have any original Saturns. Those are very collectible. I've never come across one when I had the money to spare. But I have these. Heliocentric Worlds of Sun Ra. This is a 1968 repress of his 1965 album. This is incredible. Here's one that I don't see often in people's collections. But this is probably my favorite. It's After the End of the World. Sun Ra and his Intergalactic Research Arkestra. This is just one of his best albums by far. One of his best. Sun Ra, very important. There ought to be a statue of Sun Ra by the Smithsonian or some kind of shit like that. I was going to talk about this, and I did end up playing it. Bruford, Bill Bruford had a birthday recently. Drummer who came to us originally in the band Yes, and then he's played with all the big ones. Yes, Genesis, Gong, King Crimson. He played drums in all of them with his badass. Never got to meet Bruford. I've met several of those other people's band members, but never Bruford. Love this album. Feels good to me. I didn't like Annette Peacock's vocals on this at first. Over time, it makes sense now. Bill was ahead of the curve with what he was hearing. And then I read about this in the Ed Chang book. Matt Parker, if you see this, thanks again for the Alan Holdsworth book. I'm really enjoying it and hearing directly from Alan how much he suffered. Of course, I know that's how it is for really a lot of musicians. How he ended up penniless, literally, having to hawk his guitar to get back to England. Those stories are way too common that people don't know about who haven't lived it. Okay? And then the other one that I pulled and played was Bruford's One of a Kind, where Alan Holdsworth's playing, well, everyone in the band, Dave Stewart, Jeff Berlin, all of them. This is just wonderful music. Just the best. Ought to be on the radio, and not as bumper music in between announcements and public service announcements on public radio. What a cold bullshit way to include actual music. I mean, to think that the only time I hear Can on the radio or stuff like this is when it's bumper music. I'll go on and on, you know. Capitalism has really reduced life to a pile of shit. Buy this, buy now. Don't think about it, buy now. Anyway, I'll go on. Music, that's what you want, right? You guys know the Locust? I don't know where they're from. American band? This is some wild, energetic, really twisted shit, and I love it. They sound like a swarm of locusts. The music is very edgy, uncomfortable, and not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all. The lyrics are kind of mental. I have not tried to really decipher, but I do read them because they're so strange. Love this band, and a couple nights ago, I played all this. I played all this, New Erections, and then this one that came out before it, Plague Soundscapes, The Locust. Good stuff. Really, really like that a lot. Now here's something I've had for a while that I finally cracked it and see why it's good at all. The band is called Tangle Edge. The album is Eulogy. This is a proto-progressive / psychedelic band. Now, what I mean by that is the band wears its influences on its sleeve. It's definitely influenced by early King Crimson and old jam band stuff, kind of like Grateful Dead. But the deal is, they have a nice idea, but it really doesn't go anywhere. This just kind of repeats. They get something started, it's kind of cool, but it doesn't soar. It doesn't have a trajectory. It just goes like this and then stops. But I enjoyed this for the first time the other night. It's like, okay, this is decent, but it's not good. But it's a keeper. And it's also collectible, which is interesting. I find it interesting that a lot of collectible records are not good musically. Very strange. To me, like politics. Upside down. Weird. To me, weird. Couple more, and then I want to share some personal news. Chimera by Duncan McKay. I did talk about this. Yes, I got the feedback. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, I think I did talk about these records. Okay. All right. So, it's interesting how this virus is really shutting things down and making people poor. And I'm really kind of sailing through it because I'm used to not having any money. And I decided a long time ago that money was not my focus in this life. I decided before I was even an adult. Fuck money. Okay? So, I'm just living. I'm just rolling through this. I'm not feeling any need to, maybe I should write music for the virus. Maybe I should be creative. I don't feel that at all. If I feel like making some music, I do. If I don't, I don't. Ron Anderson approached me about doing a collab and sent me some drum tracks. I cracked it open a couple times, and that's it so far, okay? I don't feel pressure. So, out of the blue comes this email from the Bemis Center for Contemporary Arts here in Omaha, of which I'm an alumnus resident artist. Now, they send me a lot of stuff all the time, so generally I'll look at the title and then I just delete it because it's almost like, okay, updates. The last one they sent me, I just looked at it glancingly, thinking it didn't apply to me, where they were looking for, well, I didn't really look at it, but they were looking to do some remote live performances. I just deleted it. Well, they got a hold of me again this week and say, hey, did you see that email we sent you? Actually, they messaged me through Facebook and said, did you see that email? I said, oh, resend it. I just deleted it. Come to find that they're asking me, do I want to do a live performance in this new space that they have been preparing for shows. But the deal is that there won't be an audience, but it will be broadcast, like a remote broadcast. And it's for an hour. And they're offering me more than I've ever made as one person. It's kind of like, what? Yeah. So I'm going to be. I'll let you know because I'm setting it up for July because I have some equipment issues that I have to work out so I can play. Because they're interested in my more experimental side. They want me to do. I like that, I get to do whatever I want, but they're interested in my sound work. But the way that I do the sound work here at home is, it's using the computer. So I have to upgrade some equipment to do it live, and that's what I'm in the process of doing now. But they're offering me more than I've ever made as an individual person off of music. I'm kind of blown away. So I'm going to be, I'm upgrading my laptop, and I just upgraded Reason. I was using Reason 5 and decided, okay, let's bite the bullet. I'm upgrading to Reason 11, and I'm putting it on my laptop so that I can perform. I don't just want to DJ, I want to create live. Still kind of blown away by this opportunity. Haven't set the date yet, but you'll be able to watch it because it'll be live broadcasted, and obviously it'll be archived after that. I'm very thankful about that. Let me just keep going because I worry about the time too much. That's a blessing. It's a reaffirmation to me of I'm living right. I'm on my path. Regardless of what anybody else thinks about my path, I know I'm on the right one. One of the most important tenets of my personal path is to not hurt other people and to be respectful. But the other thing is to flow, you know what I mean? To let go of expectations. That's the big problem with Western thinking, is that we think we're in control and we have expectations. I let those things go and I go with the flow, and good things happen, bad things happen, both. It's the way life is. But it's a confirmation to just, I'm seeing things for what I need to do clearly. Another thing is I got a call yesterday, unexpectedly, from Hank Red, who was with Stevie Wonder for years and then the band Maxine. He called to express condolences about the passing of my ex-girlfriend. Turns out he had a girlfriend of the same name passed not that long ago, and he thought it was a rather weird coincidence. But what a wonderful conversation. He's about 10, 12 years older than me. And the magnitude of his personality, and then that short conversation we had, and I'm saying, whoa, this is a deep man. This is a smart man. Wow, this means a lot to be getting this call. What a sign of respect. And he said, we need to get together. When this virus goes, we need to hang. Because I had put him on the radio when I was still doing Roots of Electric Jazz, I had him on as a guest and interviewed him about his work with Stevie and knowing Michael Jackson and all this other stuff. And wanted to do a part 2, never got to it, but did establish a rapport with him. Wonderful man, so I'd like to share that. So I hope you're all doing okay, being true to yourself. As I look on Facebook and I'm seeing more and more people are just losing their shit, becoming less civil. I wrote something on Facebook. I'm going to try to paraphrase it. Every decent, sane person that I know recognizes the sick danger of the administration of Donald Trump. I don't know what's wrong with the rest of the people, but I do. And I'm going to say it out loud. There's a large contingent I've seen because of my actual educational knowledge. I know this. There's a large contingent of his base who are very, very baseline intelligence. They're very mediocrely intelligent. A lot of people are developmentally disabled. That's not a diss, that's a fact. I know from working with the population and knowing what it's about. You tell those people the sky is green, it's green, okay? You know, you lead them by the nose and they go. Limited. It's not a diss, it's a fact about their brain function. A lot of those people are Trump followers because they're concrete, okay? But the thing that I've noticed is that the other, another large part of his base are not decent people. They're not nice. They're not decent. They're hateful. They're full of shit. They're not in touch with themselves. They don't love themselves. And it shows through their actions, their behaviors, their thoughts, and their beliefs. And I'm just going to continue to say it. There's no, this is, it's not cool. We're dealing with some sick shit. Don't make excuses for that son of a bitch Trump to me. I see how sick and fucked up shit is. Yeah, Biden's hardly any better. But Trump's got to go. All right, there's the smile. But these are weird times, so I'm not going to be acting like everything is just fine because of that. We need to figure out a way to make things fine.